How's it going, guys? With the 2020 NFL season officially wrapping up, a new team being crowned champion, and a few NFL legends being inducted into the Hall of Fame, let's take a look back at one of the greatest wide receiver seasons of all time, on one of the worst teams of all time, by the newly enshrined Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson. In this video, I'll show you Calvin Johnson's all-time great season on the 0-16 2008 Detroit Lions. Let's start the video. Calvin Johnson is one of only 7 wide receivers to get into the Hall of Fame on their first try. Despite the fact that he retired early and only played 9 seasons, it truly speaks volumes to how great he was. As a player in the NFL, he managed to do a lot of impressive things. Of course, being on the Lions, a team that has been around for almost 100 years, you are bound to endure a few bad seasons or two. Or, well, actually a lot of bad seasons. But one of their many bad seasons that sticks out, the 2008 Detroit Lions. They were riddled with failure, disappointments, and just absolute tragedy. Despite going 4-0 in the preseason, the Lions managed to lose every single regular season game, going 0-16 and losing in historic fashion. Their defense could go down as one of the worst of all time, giving up the 3rd most points ever. Weirdly enough, only falling behind the 1981 Baltimore Colts and the 2020 Detroit Lions. Tacking on top of that, the 7th worst point differential of all time. Another depressing stat that shows how bad their defense was. They only managed to snag 4 interceptions the whole season. Of those 4, only 1 was by a cornerback. The other 3 were by a linebacker and a couple of defensive linemen. If you were to combine the opposing team quarterback stats and put them into a single player, it would be 2019 Aaron Rodgers, but just a little bit better. Funny enough, their secondary wasn't even the worst part about their defense. Their run defense gave up 2,754 rushing yards, 5.15 yards per rush, and 31 rushing touchdowns. The closest running back that is similar to that stat line was LaDainian Tomlinson's 2006 season when he rushed for 28 touchdowns. They gave up the most yards, most first downs, and a league-leading 63 touchdowns. Going to the other side of the ball, their offense was actually not historically bad, in large part due to Calvin Johnson putting the team on his back. If you were to sum up their offense in one play, it would be this one.
Here comes Jared Allen, and he's out of bounds. Poor guy, I don't even know if he realized it.
The Lions cycled through 3 quarterbacks. Of those 3, they didn't have a passer to throw for double-digit touchdowns, and outside of Calvin, no other receiver had more than 1 receiving touchdown. Only 1 quarterback on the Lions roster threw for more touchdowns than interceptions, and that was Drew Stanton, who only threw 17 passes. They led the league in pick sixes with 5, and if you were to average the passer rating between the 3 starting quarterbacks, it would be 69.5. In comparison, that would rank as the 2nd worst passer rating in the NFL during the 2020 NFL season, this season. Only Jake Luton had a passer rating less than 69.5, which also means Drew Lock, Sam Darnold, and even Dwayne Haskins all had a better passer rating. Kevin Smith, the Lions running back, had a decent year running the ball, in large part due to Calvin Johnson being the main thing that opposing defenses focused on. The 2008 Lions team could only do one thing right: throw to number 81. Calvin Johnson managed to put up an impressive stat line during the 2008 season. Despite being on one of the worst teams of all time, he led the league in receiving touchdowns. If we take a look at the players to lead the league in receiving touchdowns since 2000 and their quarterbacks who were throwing them the ball, the quarterbacks outlined in green were all pros that year. If they are outlined in red, they made the Pro Bowl. If they are outlined in blue, they had a passer rating at least 85 or higher. And finally, if they are outlined in yellow, they threw for 3,000 or more yards. Now, do you notice something? The only quarterback without a single outline, 2008 Dan Orlovsky. In the past 20 years, Calvin Johnson has been the only player to lead the league in receiving touchdowns without a quarterback playing at a high level. Adding on top of that, how much of his team's offensive success is contributed towards him? Calvin Johnson was responsible for 40% of the team's receiving yards. He caught for 1,331 yards. The next closest receiver was Sean McDonald, who only had 332 yards. Their 3rd leader was their running back with 286 yards. Funny enough, Dan Campbell was actually a tight end on that 2008 Lions team, and now he's the head coach for the 2021 Lions. Anyways, Calvin Johnson was responsible for 66% of the team's receiving touchdowns. He got 12 out of the 18. Nobody else on the roster had more than 1 receiving touchdown. For a wide receiver, we can all agree, if they catch for over 1,300 yards, they had a great year. Although the difficulties to reach that mark are all not equal, to truly see how impressive Calvin Johnson's 1,331 yards was, in NFL history, a player has caught for over 1,300 yards 192 times. I went through every single time and looked at the quarterback throwing them the ball. Only 13 of the 192 had a quarterback with a pass rating less than 80, which means only 13 times in NFL history a player has had 1,300 or more receiving yards with a bad quarterback. Of course, Calvin Johnson's 2008 season was one of those 13 times. That's not even it. I ranked every single pass rating of the quarterbacks throwing the receiver the ball. Of the 192 times a player has had 1,300 or more receiving yards, Calvin Johnson's 2008 season was tied for the second worst of all time. Meaning out of all those 192 times, Calvin Johnson had the second worst players throwing him the ball, which made me think, how would this offense survive without Calvin Johnson's historic performance? I split Calvin Johnson's numbers in half, assuming that another wide receiver would step up and get at least half his numbers, or the other receivers would be able to get the ball a little bit more. A 2008 Lions offense without Calvin Johnson would go from 28th worst to 4th worst offense in total yards since 2000, and would go from 80th worst offense in points scored to 21st worst offense in points scored since 2000. I find it hilarious that one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the entire history of the NFL, managed to have one of the most impressive individual seasons by a wide receiver. All of this just makes me wish Calvin was still playing. Accomplishments like this make me appreciate him even more. He wasn't handed Joe Montana like Jerry. He didn't have Randall Cunningham tossing him touchdowns like Randy. Steve Young wasn't fitting the ball into tight windows like Terrell. Calvin Johnson was handed 4 straight losing seasons to start his career, and he managed to still be great. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe while you're down there. I post literally every single week, so you do not want to miss out. And who do you guys think is the best wide receiver of all time? Alright, I'll see you guys next time.